This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained? Thank you. You're way too kind. Really. Really, thank you. I am very, very humbled by it. Thank you. But we have a big show. My colleagues in the sponsor Opportunity Green Room, John Bradshaw Layfield, the WWE legend, and inventor of words, King Gift Egbelu. They're in there prepping for this big show. And before I bring them in, just a quick editor's note. We are tweaking the format because it was just too ambitious. We can't on camera discuss every professional setup or international setup that's going on every week. So we're going to rotate things a little bit and change it up and give you a little bit of variety. So this week, we're going to start with the Women's Six Nations, but let me bring in the guys from the green room. Gentlemen, good news for you is that yours truly had the worst week out of the three of us and is the wooden spoon winner of the week.
Oh, yeah. Wooden spoon. How's it feel, Splinters?
It's about time. This is what happens whenever the schedule's too tight for you to make up scores. There you go.
Busted. Legitimate score. Loser.
It really is an odd feeling. I don't know.
Loser.
Maybe you guys can counsel me because you've had the wooden spoon up your ass so often. Maybe you can counsel me.
Not nice at all. And
Right.
by the way, walk of shame goes to you, Matt McCarthy. Because you went to the Old Glory game as a guest of Paul Sheehy and Chris Dunleavy. And what did you do? You were drinking their free drinks in their VIP suite, and you bet against the team that you were the host that was hosting you. You bet against Old Glory, didn't you? You get the walk of shame. You are the worst person since Judas Iscariot. Matt Judas Iscariot McCarthy. That's what you are. Me, I went and bought an Old Glory jersey. What did you say when I went to buy it? Oh, why don't you just ask Paul? He'll give you one.
I did not say that. I said, why don't you ask Chris?
I bought this.
I said, why don't you ask Chris, not Paul? That's what I said.
Judas Iscariot.
All right, but
You
John,
two are the worst two human beings in the history of the planet.
you raise a good point.
You had a security guard so mad at you, he flipped you off. Yes or no? Did that happen? Many times.
That would be a yes.
Your behavior was atrocious, and you bet against the people that were hosting you and giving you free beverages.
We also did put out the over in that track meet. We did get people the win in the over.
You and Judas Iscariot, the two worst people in the history of this planet.
Unfortunately, John, management has
You're like
predetermined.
Pol Pot.
Management has predetermined that you'll be in the walk of shame
No.
for what you
no.
said about the Kintetsu liners and how you disparaged them and basically their entire organization and ancestors over your words. I say, anybody ever play rugby? And what do? They go out and win. They won because of you. So you're in the walk of shame right next to me.
That was not the Kintetsu Liners. Somebody took their place. I don't know who it was. Saracens didn't play their first team. Maybe Saracens sent their first team boys over and they played in the Kintetsu Liners uniforms because that wasn't the Kintetsu Liners.
No, it was the Kintetsu liners.
Whatever. I fought Godzilla in Tokyo.
All right. But guys, let's go over the pond and talk about the Women's Six Nations. And Gift, I just want to give you a tip of the cap because you were 3-0 and accurately depicted or picked what was going to happen with Italy.
This is what happens. You don't underestimate the Italians. They always come through. All right? This is the chef's kiss. They created it. Let it be known.
Let it be
The
known.
king nailed it.
Let it be known. All right, so Ireland hosting England. And John, the score last year was just a mere 60-0, England in favor.
Ireland is walking into a storm, an absolute storm with the Brits. I suggest they don't go because this is not going to be pretty. England all the way.
Gift?
England is just too powerful, man. Like this is going to be King Charles taking back the rest of the United Kingdom all over again. You know?
Whoa! Yeah.
Or is this Queen Elizabeth? Let me be a little bit more accurate with this one. And yeah, England takes this one. It doesn't matter what the spread is. It's England.
All right. I hate to say it, but I agree. And I'm not, and you know, getting back to when you guys said,
Hate to say it, but you say it the majority of the time. I just want to put it out there.
No,
Yeah,
that's,
you do. Yeah,
that
that's
is
true, that's true.
absolutely fake news.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
six,
absolutely.
in the men's Six
You
Nations,
bet
I
England.
never picked England.
You picked them like 4
England.
times.
No,
You
in the
picked
men's
them
Six.
plenty of times.
Do you
The
guys
king
watch
is
the
spitting
show?
facts.
Do you even watch
Facts.
the show?
We see the true edits, not the makeup stuff that you try and put in after we are done.
Scotland hosting Italy, John. Your Scots versus Gifts Italians.
Yeah. You ever heard of William Wallace? Freedom!
You said that last week and it didn't work out for you.
This time they don't have a sword. They got a baseball bat. That's what they got. Hey, yeah. Come on in to the Highlands of Scotland. How about that? Little Nessie, little Loch Ness. They got a monster up there, and people live all around the lake. They live all around Inverness. They're not afraid of the monster. You think they're afraid of the Italian ladies coming into the Highlands? Oh, hell no. Scotland, freedom!
Gift, how do you counter that?
I had a Mussolini thing going on initially, but I'm gonna pull back from that a little bit. Just might be a little bit too sensitive. But look, Italy already has said, hey, we have finally made our mark here in these Six Nations. And this rest of this UK, all right, these are just the savages that we're trying to go through. This is the Roman Empire women's style coming up through into Scotland. William Wallace will feel the spears of Italy's women. Italy over Scotland.
Wow.
I'm sorry, John.
Okay, he's staying true to the Italians. John, this is a tough match because if it depends on the weather. Italy's used to playing in nice weather. Italy's got nice climate.
It's not going to be nice in Scotland. Roman Catholic Church coming in and decimating the country. Oh, that's never happened in history before. Actually, it's happened a lot.
I don't know what the spread is at this taping, but I think Scotland holds the fort in Scotland and beats the Italians. Then finally, France hosting Wales. Last year's matchup was 33-5 in favor of France, but it was on the road in Wales. John.
Viva la France. That's what I think. The French women, hey, I'm sorry about Wales. My buddy Gareth Noakes, he's my pal, but they're not going to do well in France. They're not going to do well at all.
Gift.
France is an unstoppable force right now. Hey, what? I don't even know what we're talking about. France is about to go full, as the great champ says, Charlemagne on these Welsh people.
Yo,
Okay.
king quoting a king.
I agree with my colleagues on this one.
We are not your colleagues.
John, we had a moment. And now we can talk about it a little bit because, you know, we were in the nation's capital. We went to the Old Glory versus New York game, and we sat together.
Put your thumb down. So immature. So immature. Really? I'm in the VIP section.
You showed up bombed. You had been at a pub and you did not invite me, and you showed up bombed. Yes or no?
No.
Yes or no?
No, false, fake news. Fake news.
A mild-mannered security guard was coming by and flipping you off. He was so mad at you.
That's a greeting between New Yorkers and DC people. You're just still in Bermuda and Texas. You don't know the difference yet, but you'll catch on.
There it is.
There you
Old
go.
Glory hat.
Where'd you get that hat?
You bought it for me. It told me it was $170, and then I found the price tag there.
That's a misprint. It was 180. That's 169.99.
I offered a gift, an olive branch, if you will, because you are a great American, and you're from Texas, and I think that hat marriages you being a great American and from Texas. And Old Glory won. God bless Texas.
And that hat looks good on you, especially as you're kissing the of Paul Sheehy and Chris Dunleavy.
They're my friends, and I bet on their team.
Those are good people, and they earned and deserve this first win. Let's go.
All right,
Bam!
let's get to it. Speaking of wins, let's get to our job. Let's go to the MLR upcoming matches. We've got New England versus Atlanta.
Look, this is one of those games where you say and remember the Forrest Gump role, where Forrest just keeps running. That's what Free Jacks are still doing on Canada, consistently dunking on Canada, running through. I think they scored another 16 points while we were just talking right now.
Yeah,
But the worst logo in rugby, I got to give them their credit. They fake New Orleans, decide to take over, and they're trying to justify the existence of their logo and got another win. But this is going up to the north. Even though they're getting a little bit warmer up here, I'm looking at New England to be able to take this game and just continue their rolling. They've already been warmed up in their runs, may as well continue trampling through. Look at New England to be able to take this one over Atlanta.
Run, Forrest, run.
Old Glory hosting Utah. The Mountain People with a big win against Seattle. Now they're on the road. 4-point favorites on the road, John.
Yeah, I think this total will probably go up because books are gonna give Old Glory a lot of credit for beating New York, as they deserve. They play 80 hard minutes. However, Utah's got a lot of travel. They had a huge game last week at home. It's a letdown spot for Utah. I am going with Old Glory to cover this and potentially win at home.
Wow.
Call in again in my Old Glory jersey, my Old Glory hat, and my money jar right here.
True American.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't get the wooden spoon. You did, Matt.
I'm going to go on to the next match because Dallas, the Jackals, are hosting the San Diego Legion, who are red hot. My man, Nate Augsburger Gift, keeps scoring tries, crazy tries to boot. And San Diego just keeps rolling. Dallas, they can play it tough. They can keep in the game for a while, but they're not going to win this one in Snapdragon Stadium. Right now, it's San Diego. The spread is early, -11. That's going to be an easy spread for them to cover. John, New York versus Houston. Houston, road favorites in Mount Vernon on the Bronx border by 8 points.
Yeah, Houston was in a battle last week. That was a good rugby game. There was a lot of heat, a lot of humidity. Those guys were wore out at the end of it. Dallas played incredibly well. Had a chance to win at the end. Houston showed that they could score from anywhere on the field as they have all year long. I think Houston right now is the better team than New York. And the reason is because New York had 5 guys out last week against Old Glory. They're going to have 6 out this week. They do not have their full roster yet. They're missing too many guys. Jack Hyten, number 1 on that list. I think Houston goes up there and even after last week wins this game in New York.
Yeah, I mean, even their front row, the props were all dropping like flies. You saw guys getting their debut with caps, which is a positive if you want to look at it that way, but they are thin and they're not going to get many people back. They have to weather the storm to stay in contention at the end of the year, and that opens the door for these other teams. Gift, Toronto hosting Seattle, and the early line is -22. Seattle on the road.
I figured it out. The Kinetsu Liners played in Toronto uniforms. That's what happened. That's what happened.
You know, the Arrows, it did look like there was some familiar faces playing for the Liners. Yeah.
Toronto was trans-liners last week, so let's go.
Trans-liners. Yeah, so Gift, what do you think about Seattle going into Toronto, -22? This isn't an easy trip, by the way.
No, it's not an easy trip, except for I think I just watched 3 more scores happen on the Arrows, as we just said that little moment again. Look, Seawolves took a hit beating last week and the week before. Their winning streak came to an end, but you know what? It was inevitable. It was about time where their streak was going to come to an end, but now you're going up to Canada, and it's time for them to jump back out like they're Mushu from SeaWorld and jump back in to get this win.
How about Rookie, who's on our screen right now?
Rookie knows what's going on. Look at the Seawolves to get their winning streak back and try and get back that first place spot from the Legion. Toronto will cover. They will not win, but they will cover.
So you're saying this is a bounce back game for the Arrows, in a sense, because they're only
in terms of
coverage
coverage.
by 20.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. I'm looking at that Chicago-New Orleans match in Chicago, and New Orleans a tough team to figure. We all picked them to win last week against Atlanta. They did not. Atlanta actually looked pretty good. Chicago played San Diego tough for a while. They were right in it, but, then they started to run out of gas in San Diego. Could this be a win for Chicago in the Windy City? I think so, but right now New Orleans is -6 as road favorites.
Chicago's got no depth. You look at the games they played. They play tough for 10, 20 minutes. They can play with anybody for that long. But then when you've got to start rotating players in, they just don't have depth. They don't have guys to come in and take place of these first teamers. And that's Chicago's problem right now. They can't play 80 minutes of rugby consistently, in my opinion.
But, you get those glimpses of what could be when Billy Meeks and
they look great. Billy Meeks that guy is a first-class rugby player. That guy's a stud. And they look really good at times against teams. They get wore out. They just don't have any depth.
We're going to take our first break. We'll be right back. They think we're on commercial break, but I just needed to take the time to show you our other picks. Here are our Super Rugby Pacifica picks, followed by our NRL picks. And we've been pretty good at that in both these setups. And Super Rugby Americas. Now we'll break for commercial.
Need a great price on a new vehicle? Sheehy makes it easy. Easy Price shows you our lowest prices on the Mid-Atlantic's largest selection. Find your best price online or at any of our 31 dealerships.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
From New York City comes America's longest running and most popular rugby show. The biggest names in Major League Rugby, MLR highlights, and big match previews. Rugby Wrap-Up presents MLR Weekly, made in New York City.
When we pick up the ball, we also pick up a legacy. A legacy that stretches beyond your current team. A legacy built on the backs of those who came before you with hard work. And for those who will come after you, we promise it won't be easy. But we'll be there, supporting you on and off the field.
And we are back across the globe in Japan for Japan's Rugby League One, one of the more fun and exciting professional setups on the planet. John, what grabbed your attention with Japan's Rugby League One?
The day after the Washington Generals finally beat the Harlem Globetrotters, they didn't win another game. The Keiretsu Liners beat Kobe. Kobe's mad. I don't care who they're playing this week. Bet Kobe.
Oof. All right. Gutsy pick.
Not a gutsy pick. It's a pick.
Gifty?
Look, last week, Wild Knights had to perform seppuku on themselves for an absolute failure of maintaining their winning streak this in the league. But this week, look for them to rise like the Phoenix and slice down those brave lupuses. Look, you always love a good wolf versus man story, but this is not one where nature's going to overcome. Wild Knights take this and whatever the spread is going to be because they're moving in pure anger, petty, and the fearless recklessness of God in their side.
Phoenix, wolf, reckless, petty, nature of God. That's your pick right there.
Wow. All right.
Man versus wolf.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's
All right.
go.
I think I'm going to go with Verblitz. Verblitz is impressing me lately. I'm going with Verblitz. All right, let's go back to Europe/South Africa to the URC, the United Rugby Championship. Does anything catch your eye in this week's matches, John?
Yes. You ever go to the Coliseum in Rome? Let me tell you what it was. It was as fixed as your record, Matt McCarthy.
What?
They would say that these guys would fight with swords for 45 minutes and then the first blood lost. That is as fixed as roller derby. Those matches were fixed. However, the ones that weren't fixed, when you fed the Christians to the Lions, what happened? The Lions ate the Christians. The Zebras are going down to face the Lions in their home in Africa. What do you think's going to happen? Zebras going to get ate. They're going to get ate alive by the Lions.
Circle of life, baby. Circle of life.
Zebras are dumb. They're going down to Africa to get et. If a zebra crossed with you, it'd be a Z-donk. Because it'd be a cross between a zebra and a donkey. You'd be a Z-donk. Your child would be a Z-donk. That's
I'll
what
tell
it
you
would
what.
be.
If it was you, it'd just be a jack. How about that?
That's not nice, and that's not even that funny. That was equivalent to "oh yeah." That real seriously, that was.
Oh, yeah?
Comeback of an 8-year-old.
Oh, yeah? I know I am, but what are you? Gift.
One game that I like is two winners that came off of last week. We got the swarming and swirling Sharks with the crashing and, battling Munsters. Munsters got their win over the Stormers, but it's not going to continue over. Look for Sharks to swim and swirl their way through into a frenzy over the Munsters this week.
Frenzy, Sharks, like off the coast of Hermanus in South Africa. Sharks.
Wow, that is excellent analysis from the two of you, my esteemed colleagues. Well done, guys. Well done. All right, you know what I'm going to take? I'm taking Ulster. Edinburgh's going in there into Belfast. They're going to get handed to them. They're going to leave in their kilts crying. That's what I got.
That was mean-spirited. I mean, that was mean-spirited. Really not nice.
So personal. So personal.
Yeah. No wonder Stephen Lewis left you in D.C.
Oh, man. Hey, that's a whole different show. That's a whole different show. Oh, doctor. Oh, doctor. Oh, Greyhound. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. I told them we were going to the commercial, but we're really not. We're going to share with you now our top 14 picks and our Premiership picks. Now we'll break for commercial.
Oh, God, that looks way too good. Ah!
My time, think it's my
And we're back. And we're back with our picks of the week. John, what do you like?
Quins. Last week I picked Saracens. Be sure and check the rosters. I didn't realize they were resting most of their guys because they already got their semifinal spot booked. This week, Quins. Check the roster, playing the Stoop against Bath. I think Quins rolls them boys.
Gift, what's your pick of the week?
Yo, pick of the week. I think this is the championship game for top 14. Stade Francais versus Toulouse. Man, both of these teams basically won a game that was way closer than they should have been, despite being home and away. But overall, the better teams in this one. In this one, very evenly matched. Look at Stade Francais to cover the points against Toulouse in this game. I looked at this is going to be a 1-2 point game, taking it to the edge, despite the fact that Toulouse is on the road. Stade Francais defending the house.
You know, you're gutsy. I mean, last week I tried to help you out, or management tried to help you out, rather, with telling you to take the Waratahs. in Super Rugby
We
versus
have no management.
the Western Force.
We don't. It's you.
And what happened, Gift? Your Western Force lost by 20 points to my Waratahs. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Was that on your road to the wooden spoon? Don't talk to us and our money, pal.
Right on his teleprompter, it's typed, management tells you to pick La Rochelle in the top 14, and what does he do? He goes off script again. Okay. All right. Go right ahead.
This is America. Freedom. Freedom.
All right. I got 2 picks of the week. I got the
Wait
Chiefs.
a minute. How do you get 2
You got
picks?
2?
Yeah, I'm giving the folks a bonus because when you're leading and you're the best picks person in this panel, it's a lot of P's. You get to do that, okay?
You're
Management
the best
said I could.
picks person in the panel.
There's only 2 P's. There's only 2 P's.
Okay, I'm going with the Chiefs in Super Rugby hosting the Drua. In Waikato, the Chiefs are going to be all pumped up. Trust me, take that one. And then I like the over in the Rabbitohs versus the Panthers in the NRL. On that note, gentlemen, we're out of time. How about some plugs? Gift?
Yo, just check out Rugby Swag Show. Check out the podcast. We'll be kicking back off again next month. Definitely don't miss an episode. We got some great guests. Obviously talking current events in rugby. And of course, always here to try and change the game. Rugby Swag Show on all streaming devices.
Nice. John?
People always talk about growing the game. They say all the right things. Memphis City Rugby is one of these groups that's growing the game, several state championships, 6 All-Americans, and most importantly, 100% of these kids are graduating high school. They do wonderful work down there. Please support organizations like Memphis City Rugby.
Nice, John. I'm gonna plug our shows, but first I want to say congratulations to Army and Navy for a great playoff game, great environment down at the naval base, the U.S. Naval Base, Annapolis, Maryland, and now Navy is now moving on in the next round of the playoffs. They are a team to watch. Also on the college circuit, the CRC Sevens is at the end of the month, the 28th, 29th, and 30th of April in Maryland. You got to get there. 120 teams, 300 matches, 8 men's and 8 women's divisions, 5 fields, 3 days, all at the Maryland Soccerplex. There'll be entertainment, there'll be events, there'll be stuff going on, there'll be booze served, and yours truly will be heard throughout the stadium. Hopefully that won't keep you from going. Go to collegiaterugbychampionship.com for all the details, and we'll see you there the 28th, 29th, and 30th of April. On that note, we are out of time. Thank you, John Bradshaw Layfield, the WWE Hall of Famer, and King Gift Egbelu, the inventor of words, and thank you for tuning in. Please check out our other shows, including MLR Weekly, the College Rugby Wrap-Up. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, sign up for our weekly newsletter, and please join our American Red Cross Blood Donor Team.